The effects of weightlessness on the human body are pretty heavy. In space adventure movies, everyone is always walking. What's up with that? I mean, in a microgravity environment, there's actually a lot more floating and flailing and general weirdness than walking. Without gravity, life forms like us can get seriously messed up. About half of all astronauts undergo what's called space adaptation syndrome. That means that when they encounter a microgravity environment, for those first few days, they feel nausea and dizziness. It's kind of like watching Cloverfield on an IMAX screen for days at a time. And if you stay there longer, some really serious health effects can come into play, like deconditioning. That's when you lose 1 to 2% of your bone mass for every month you spend in microgravity. Now, to combat this, astronauts aboard the ISS are required to do 120 minutes of vigorous exercise every day using machines that look like a Klingon torture device. So what is gravity anyway? Well, technically it's the force of acceleration that pulls us toward the Earth's center at 9.8 meters per second squared while the Earth pushes back up against us. Seems simple enough. So why don't we just make artificial gravity in space? Let's start with an experiment. Take a bucket of water and swing your arm as fast as you can in a windmill-like fashion. Now at the top of the circle, the bucket is upside down, but the water stays inside it. Let's take the same principle and apply it to space, where instead of counteracting gravity, we're actually simulating it. Imagine a spacecraft in the shape of a wagon wheel. The circumference of this wheel is a torus, meaning it's a hollow donut. Now, the outer edge is the floor that you walk on, and the inner edge is the rotating side that faces the center of that wheel. It's kind of like one of those rides at the county fair, and I don't mean that it smells like popcorn, butter, and funnel cakes. I mean that these rides spin around and pin you to the outer edge of the ride. But that outward force depends upon two factors: the size of the spacecraft and the speed of rotation. So if you have a small spacecraft, it actually has to rotate very quickly, and that could mean that you could have a much stronger pull at your feet than you do at your head, which is bad news. So really what we need is a large, slowly rotating spacecraft, but that has its own challenges. For one thing, you have to get all those parts up into space, and that's really expensive. For another, you have to build it while you're in orbit, and that's really dangerous. Once again, it'd be really nice if we had some way of getting stuff into space besides just putting it on a rocket. Other ideas for artificial gravity involve things like energy-hungry magnets or forever accelerating vehicles or exotic high-density matter, but none of these are really practical right now and may not even be safe. And let's put this on the table, folks. I'm not going to talk about gravitons, okay? You can't solve all the world's problems with hypothetical particles. We still have to find a way in the short term to battle deconditioning. So what about a special suit, like a gravity-loading countermeasure skin suit? It actually uses elastic pressure to squeeze you and simulate gravity in that respect. And that way, the pressure you feel and the strain you make keep your body in good shape. Now, in the long term, artificial gravity is something we're going to have to figure out, because weightlessness could impact everything from human reproduction to the way we grow crops in space. So it's not just about making space travel more like it is in the movies. We need to do this because it could really impact the future of our species. Now I've got a question for all of you guys out there. What is your favorite explanation for artificial gravity in science fiction? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it and subscribe to our channel and share the video with your friends. And once you're done with all that, check out these videos over here. They're pretty heavy.